I think it took me like 3 years or so to get to him. I was sending him messages, then I was sending in Croatian that he would reply in English, and that,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so on. And so I really understood, like, this guy doesn't want to be bothered. I don't give up that easily, because in the end I want to have good content for the people who come to the event.
You're listening to Art Heroes Podcast, the show to help you thrive as a digital artist. Tune in to learn how to transform your passion into a career. Get inspired by other kick-ass 2D and 3D artists, and find out what it takes to be an art hero.
Alrighty, guys. Hello again. This is Maria JD. I'm your host at Art Heroes Podcast. And today we've got a special person on the show. Today we're meeting Marko Prpic. You might not know his name, but you definitely know one of the events that he created. And he's basically the father of Ifcc that happens every year in Croatia, and many of the artists have been there, not only been there, but got jobs, promotions, friends, and family because of the festival. So Ifcc is definitely a movement, and Marko himself is a really interesting guy because he's a community host, an entrepreneur, and an artist, like 3 in 1. So I'm really excited about this conversation, and let's hear what Marko has to say. Well, let's welcome Marko. Okay. All right, Marko, we're now live. Thank you so much for coming to the Art Heroes Podcast, and welcome to the show. We're now recording. Yes. So guys, I'm having Marko here, and Marko is, I think, would probably best known as an Ifcc founder, right? Would you say that it's your most known project?
Well, I think, considering who is your audience, I think that people know me
yes,
through
probably.
Ifcc. So
yes, definitely. So at least that's how I got to know about you. And like, Marko is the Ifcc guy, but what I didn't know that Marko is also a father of a bunch of other projects. And we were just like chatting about this before opening the recording, that in my opinion, all of these projects are done so well. I wouldn't even guess that it's like the same person. So yeah. Great job, Marko. Like, looks amazing. So there is also jewelry, a jewelry brand, and a studio. And help me finish this list.
You mentioned that I'm a father. I'm actually a real father as well. So I have a son and wife and all that.
As one of the projects. Okay.
Well, I think since 2001 or so, we started doing all sorts of creative projects. From when I say we, I think about the Bhunika network, which is our organization, a nonprofit. So all sorts of projects that are the goal. The goal was always connecting people, connecting artists from all over the world, and bring them together. So from all sorts of fields, street art, graphic design, animation, film, and whatnot. So in these last 20 years, we did various websites that connect people. I started a lot of brands of my own. Some were successful, some were not. We talked about my jewelry just a few moments before. This is a profitable project, but there were also a lot of fails, So, you learn along the way. So and of course, the Ifcc is probably the best known project that we did. So.
Yeah. So I'm sincerely really, really impressed. And, I really like how you wear like mostly like 3 hats, being an artist and an entrepreneur and the community host. So like 3 things at the same time. What would you refer to most? Like, would you consider yourself mostly an artist or a director, or like, I don't know?
Well, first and foremost, I think that I'm I like to think about myself as a creative creative person. You could say an artist, but I do a lot of different things. Long time ago, I have decided that my art is not the most important thing for me in my life. So because, I mean, artists are like a bunch of really nice, people, creative people who I like to hang out with. But what I don't like about artists is that they're really focused, on their work, and not about things that surround them. So, and I know a lot of them who just want to, sit in their room and create. And I was like that in the past as well. And maybe the reason why I wasn't so successful helped me think about other possibilities in life. So the older I am, the more I think about how I miss hanging out with the people who are dear to me, my family, my friends. I would like to have more free time, so with my son, my wife, and I think that being a good artist, being a top artist requires like full commitment, and
That's for sure.
I'm not sure if I can commit, only to this one thing in life, so, but I like creating, and I just can't stop creating, I started with the graffiti, street art and that sort of thing. Then I moved to graphic design. Then I moved to 3D. Then I moved for the past few months, maybe years, I'm more and more into animation and even directing videos. We had a project that we just finished where I directed a small promo video for a Kickstarter campaign. So I really enjoy doing it. I like to compete with my colleagues, to bring something new on the table. But I know that I will always be, the jack of all trades and master of none. So, and that's who I am. My decision to go in split ways was maybe the worst decision for my career. But I just like exploring, I just want to learn every single software, I want to try all the techniques of drawing, sculpting, digital, traditional. So, that's who I am.
Wow, I really like this, and I like how you identified yourself mostly with like creator, like creator, like in a really wide sense, like trying different things, and yeah, and just kind of going with that. But I wanted to explore a little bit Bhunika network, because you mentioned this is a community, and you even referred to like us. So what does it mean for you, and who and when started it, and just in general, what is Bhunika Network?
So, long story short, how did they say that? I had this first solo exhibition in 2001, for which I made like really big paintings, and I invited a lot of people that I knew from my life, and one of them was my colleague from the school. He came and he saw all these things, and he was especially inspired by the promotional CD that I had, like, which was a thing then, like to make a CD animated, in some program like Flash, and he was like, why don't we start something together, and then of course we got drunk and thought of a name, and a few months later or a year later, we even had a website. I think that website was one of the first websites that was actually allowing artists from all over the world to, post their stuff on our front page, and it was in the form of blog, so, and we really had now when I see how hard it is to promote anything, I see how successful we actually were, because we had like 20 to 50 submissions a day, so, and I was like, I didn't see the value of it, but I just like I wasn't thinking about it in a marketing way, I was just like enjoying the content, and us being connected, with others. And just before the launch of that website, we produced our first series of T-shirts with the graphics. So this was actually the thing that we continue doing in the next, like 10 to 15 years. A lot of people change from the original crew. So I think actually that I'm the only one who is from the original, crew, because people come and go. We were never very profitable, people need money, they find work somewhere else,
of
then they
course.
go there. But with most of them, like 99% of them, I stayed in good connection, your friends.
And how Bhunika Network made money specifically?
So back then we didn't make any,
Okay.
I think that our trip to New York somewhere in 2008, when we started filming our documentary on street art, which we never finished, we realized that everyone knows us there, like, because we would meet someone wanted to do an interview, and then we said like we're from Bhunika, and everyone's like, well, Bhunika, I know, I've seen this website, it was like, wow, so, and even in Zagreb, when we went to some parties, we would hear people talking about Bhunika, but no one knew it's from Zagreb because it was in English. And so we were like, we started, realizing the value of this. So, and to me, back then, we really didn't think about money that much. I was working in various, studios and advertising agencies, so it was just a side project. But then we started doing it more seriously. We started organizing exhibitions for international artists, for local artists, and we had expenses, and started thinking about, making our own products. So we started doing t-shirts again, jewelry, figurines, doing deals with other artists and so on. But it was never really profitable in a way that, we could pay, I don't know, like 5 people, to have like to have them on pay or something like that. This all changed with the start of the IFCC, actually, because the IFCC was a project that started becoming profitable in its first few years.
So that's where it comes from. So IFCC grew from Bhunika Network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I was suspicious
was
about that.
stage.
I was suspicious about that. I'm glad that it's like that. So Bhunika Network came up kind of with an idea of a project of IFCC.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, I mean, when it comes to IFCC, there was this event I never went to. I had this my last chance to become like a real artist, illustrator, and I heard about this festival in Pennsylvania. It's called ILCSCon.
Okay.
And I paid for the table and everything. I made illustrations and all this, but in the end I couldn't come up with the money for the airline ticket, so I never went there.
Oh my God.
But the cool thing was that when my colleagues from Zagreb approached me, the colleagues who had their own event called the Judgment Day, which was more about advertising, they approached me and they wanted to give it, to me, to us, to Bhunika, to run it, and I said, okay, but because I was so inspired by the story of this ILCSCon, but I said, yeah, but I want to change it. I want it to be like a few days event, and I wanted to have like workshops and all this kind of stuff. And I want to charge tickets for it, because it doesn't make sense to work whole year on something and, go to jail because you owe everyone money, so to produce it. So this is how it actually started. And then I realized that there is actually, it was like the second year of the THU, Trojan Horse was Unicorn. I realized that there's another event very similar to what we are doing. And then when we did our first one, I heard about Industry Workshops London as well. And I'm not sure if they started before or after us, but I think that these 3 events were like the first 3 serious events of a kind, maybe even globally, and with the THU being the first one, but I just wasn't aware of it for the first 2 years, I think. So.
Wow. Okay. So what year did you start IFCC? And what happened with the Judgment Day event? So did you eventually merge, or did you start one from scratch?
Yeah, it started as the merge events. Actually, the first IFCC was actually called the Judgment Day. And,
right.
So the Judgment Day had this like line, this explanation line under the name. It was like the Judgment Day, and then below it was the Independent Festival of Creative Communication. And then we just took this Independent Festival of Creative Communication and used just the first letters, the initials, the IFCC. So this is how it became the IFCC. So
independent festival.
Of creative communication. So this is how IFCC was born, actually. So and then we just ditched the Judgment Day name, which I really loved, and I loved the concept of the Judgment Day. But this is a story for another meeting.
Okay.
But it wasn't doable. After 2 years, I just realized it's just too much to chew, So we just continue with the IFCC concept.
So it's so cool, and I think it's really interesting how community, like artistic community, actually comes up with the festival. So how many people were involved in organizing IFCC, and how many people are involved now? Like, is there something that like a year-round like committee, or like a group that keeps it alive, or like every time it's different people?
So I mean, I think it's best that I like tell a short story of all the years together. So
Sure.
because it's easier for me. I'm really bad with dates, and names and so on, because I just have it as some sort of a cloud in my head. It started in 2014 when I was one of the directors of a bigger event in Zagreb, and the Judgment Day, which we were running then, was a, let's say, 1/4 or 1/3 of that big event, And this is when I invited a few guys from States. It was Ben Mauro, David Bentley, and Von Link, and at least I think 10 or 15 guys from the region. And it was really cool. It was like a proof of concept. And the next year we went independent. Actually, we got in fight with the other organizers. So this was the reason. But it happens, I mean,
it's normal.
It's okay to talk about it because you
Sure.
have different views on some things, and we just didn't get along, So so that was 2014. So 2015 was actually the first official IFCC year, and that year, even the previous one was sort of a horror, because it was so hard to find colleagues, who understand the concept. Because first of all, no one was supporting this financial side of it, that we want to charge people to pay, I don't know, like 350 euros for the event, And my logic was, if people need it, people will pay for it, and there's no other way for us to produce it. We don't have sponsors. We never had sponsors until the 2020 edition, the official sponsors, I mean, because I was never on the same page with those who were maybe offering some sort of sponsorship, because I don't like running around, anyone, I just like hanging out with like-minded people, and it's kind of hard to organize an event in that manner. So in 2015, it was the big first event with like 150 people, maybe more. And to be honest, I thought I'm losing my mind, because like 1 month before the event, it was like a total disaster on the horizon. We just didn't have any money. No one was buying tickets, but some people did buy tickets. So it is like a really unpleasant situation where you have
when
like
you
maybe
already have to organize something.
You have like 50 people bought tickets. The money is gone because you already purchased all the airline tickets and paid some hotels in advance or hostels or whatever. And I was like, I thought like I was the biggest loser in the world, I was just like, I wanted to disappear, and I even stopped communicating with my colleagues because I just couldn't work with anyone anymore. I was just like sitting in the computer, like in front of the computer, like for 16 hours every day, like no weekend. That year was like no weekend, no holiday, no nothing, and probably because I was texting so many artists individually, about our event, about who is coming. Tickets finally started selling, and a month before the event and towards the event, we sold like another like 100 tickets or so, and and that saved the event. And from 2015 to 2017, the event was growing rapidly. I don't know, like, so this 0 year, 2014 was like maybe 50 or 60 folks. Then, next year, 2015 was like 150 or more. Then next year, 250 or 70. And then the 2017 was like 500 people.
Oh, wow.
So we couldn't even sell any more tickets because we didn't have seats, And I kind of predicted that this was maybe, the best year that we'll have, because I realized that as an organization, we weren't capable of running even that, and not even to think about something more complex and with more people, because we were still a lot of, individuals who were doing this voluntarily. There was money coming, but still not enough to pay anyone in front, But what happened, what we didn't predict, is that like people who were coming to our events and maybe THU and Industry Workshop was very inspired by it. They loved it. They were like very emotional about it, and they started creating their own events. So so in 2018 we already felt this problem that there are like a lot of new events going on in Europe, and we're all targeting the same folks, the same artists. And when you think about artists, these guys don't have money. Most of them are like totally broke. Those who aren't broke, it's not easy to persuade to come to an event. So it was like really small percent of artists that we were like,
after, yes.
After, so, and as the rapid growth from 2015 to 2017 became a rapid fall,
Oh, wow.
towards 2020, So, and this is the reality. I mean, I don't like make things prettier than they are, but this is the thing. And I said, like, long time ago, like in 2015, I said, we'll do it as long as people will want to, be a part of it, And I see things are changing. You have like these monsters of events. I mean, THU has grown like beyond, any plans they probably had. And the same thing now with the Lightbox Expo. These are like huge events. And to be honest, they can offer much more than we can offer. What we offer, everyone always said, we always had like top speakers, top artists, and I was always after quality in that sense. But when it comes to production and equipment, we were probably the worst there. But we always had like good talks. However, people were coming year after to the IFCC actually to hang out, to have a good time, to get drunk with colleagues. They know that we never put speakers separately, and others on the other side. So everyone was always together. Everyone had like the same accreditation, and this is what people liked about IFCC. But after you come to some event for like 5 years in a row, or 3 or 4, you just want to see other things. We want to go elsewhere. So yeah, this is the story,
But I mean, that's not the whole story, because in 2020, IFCC went virtual, and then there was IFCC that changed location, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing the IFCC, which is moved away from the city.
That was amazing experience. It made have come in the wrong time, but so 2019 was at the seaside in beautiful city of Split in Croatia. And this, I mean, when it comes to experience, this is probably my favorite event. We only had up to, to 200 people, maybe less. But when you think about the fact that we had like 5 people doing everything, from start to finish, not just at the event, but through the whole year, and compared to the previous years, when we had like probably 30 people involved in the process, and this 2019 was the best experience for us because we managed everything without any hustle. It was so easy and so nice, and for us, the guys behind the event, it was great, because we weren't at home. We weren't in Zagreb, because like in Zagreb, the scenario is like this. I wake up, I said to my wife, sorry, I have to go there again, and then she was like, okay, how long will this last? Just for next like 6 or 7 days. Okay, then I'm there from like 8 to like 3 or 4 in the morning. Then I get home like, hi.
Yeah.
And then, and then like, so it's like, I wasn't like really, really relaxed, because we had a kid and he gets sick all the time, and I go to hospital and whatnot. I miss some of the most important guests that we have, from companies like, I don't know, like Riot Games or whatnot. I don't get a chance to even meet the guys. And then last year the Split was like totally different experience. It was like a holiday for us as well, like we were the guests at the event, and it was smaller cinema. It was beautiful. For me, I think this was the favorite ones.
Wow, cool. So what's okay, before we go to the future projections, actually, like the main question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think IFCC does for people? Like hanging out is like fun, but is it more of like recharge? Is it more of like networking? And what do you think, what problems do you think you guys solve for artists?
It really depends. I mean, if you're an artist and you're coming to the IFCC, it really depends what you're bringing with you and what are your expectations. So we had a lot of people there who found their new jobs or the first job. We had some guys who really had a shift in their careers because of the IFCC. I mean, this could happen in any event, and does happen in any event. But what I want to say, that live events definitely work if you want to do something about your career, and if you have like a killer portfolio, it really does make sense to go there and to be able to talk live to maybe some recruiter or whoever. So some examples of how it affected some people's career. I don't know. I remember the guys from Max Burman from Kid Bash 3D. He just started the project there. So, and then at the IFCC, he connected with guys who were coming there from Serbia, who also did an amazing what was the name, main titles video for the event. This was like Sava Živković, Milan Nikolić, Iz Svemira, and other guys. So they're like super talented bunch of people from Belgrade, and I think they're from Belgrade, all of them. Mm-hmm. And so they met Max there, and they started talking about future collaboration, which they did, So, and this was like really later on a successful story. I mentioned Serbian guys. They're like super talented, and IFCC was a platform for them to launch that main titles video, which really changed some of their lives, especially Sava Živković, because guys from Axis Animation noticed him, and I this is maybe one of my favorite moments when it comes to careers, and the IFCC. We also have like good example of Danar Voria, who met Shadi Safadi at the event. and even he came there like as a rookie, and then he found a job, and then the next year he was also a speaker at the IFCC. So
Wow. Okay.
this events like that really help you to get noticed, and help to motivate you. And this is another thing. A lot of people are just there, to get motivated, which in the end they really are motivated, and this impacts their portfolio, their performance, let's say. And also there are other guys who are not looking for additional work or new job or anything, but are looking for the chance to hang out with people, because all of us were locked, and not all of us are living in the big cities. Some of them are living in in the mountain, in a house, surrounded by woods and bears and wolves, so they want to come somewhere where they can talk to like-minded people. So it's a hard question to answer, so
Yeah, but I think it's not really for you, because you just explained everything. And also, just, I don't know if you know this, but I had Nicoli Lazarus on this podcast, and actually when I asked him how you got his job, and he works at Six More Vodka now in Berlin, that was an IFCC recruitment story.
Yeah, Six More Vodka. We had like a really nice background story with Six More Vodka. I would like to mention that as well. I was trying to get their director, Marko Prpic, who was like and still is a very famous person in that industry. And and Marko is like he's a Serbian guy who lives in Germany. And so I think it took me like 3 years or so to get to him. I was sending him messages, then I was sending in Croatian that he would reply in English, and that and so on. And so I really understood, like, this guy doesn't want to be bothered, but I don't give up that easily, because in the end I want to have good content for the people who come to the event. So 3 years later, Marko said, "Okay, we'll come." So they did, and he was super happy about it. He even, I think I can say this, he even helped us financially at some point. He didn't ask to be mentioned or whatever, but which I really appreciate, because he understood our struggle.
Okay.
And what was cool, just like for Nico and others, they got a chance to meet him there, to talk to him, to have their portfolio reviews, and some of them even hired.
Exactly.
And which is great, So yeah, that's another story from the IFCC.
There's a bunch of stories like that. I'm sure we're just scratching the surface. And while like a bunch of people go to get motivated and like to learn and other things, like the backside of that is definitely just putting your name out there, meeting some people, and finally getting a job or getting a better job or something. So in this regards, now that IFCC has had an online edition, what do you think of online art events? And do you think that online events are the future, or is it only the 2020?
Before I answer this, if my face will be in the video, I just want to apologize to everyone, because I have my camera there, and then I have you in the window there. So I'm kind of looking at you, and then I realize, okay.
No, you're actually like, that's fine. Don't worry.
Well, the future is definitely online, at least partially. So, and our plan was to do a hybrid event even the last time, when we realized that there will be this COVID problem and so on. But after we realized that it won't be possible for people to even come to the event, we just went for the online thing. And this was like a last minute decision. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm not very happy with the attention that we got from the crowd. We're like very limited in a way, So like 2015 was like totally different story when it comes to promoting the event on Facebook and so on. So I could literally, post stuff and it would get a lot of views and likes and whatnot. Now, this algorithm just understand if you're promoting anything, you can't cheat them, So, and we just don't have, we don't have cash to put in promotion. So, and this is the problem with the sponsors as well. Without having sponsors, it's like really impossible to do it. And, but yeah, I said like, okay, let's do it and we'll be smarter afterwards. And so, the future is definitely online for the events or in this hybrid version, online plus live experience. But I'm not sure if this will be the future for the Ifcc as the event. So I think I'm almost certain that at least next year we won't be doing the event. And I have to think
the event
about
at all, or only online event?
Yeah, event at all. And I have to think about doing it at all in the future, really hard, because the problem, I have my personal problem.
Shocker.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm saying this publicly.
Breaking news. No.
But I have my personal problems with that, because with all the new friends I got in the meantime, with all the good experience I got, all the good memories I got, it also hurts my own career as an artist a lot, So because I was kind of stagnating like for 7 years, not doing anything. I mean, I produce all the time, but it's not the level of quality that I know I can do with if I put enough of work and time in it. And this also reflects my incomes. I will get better clients with better works, and I just can't be sketching stuff when I have some free times for because then I'll be paid for doing sketches. I have to do serious thing. And since Ifcc is not profitable, I just can't rely on that. And so I right now I'm in this transition period where I'm getting more and more work from various creative projects, and I like doing it. I like creating, as we talked at the beginning or before the show, I don't know. And I like it this way. And Ifcc is like a huge struggle. It's it's every year is the same. We come to the event and we're like, okay, now we'll at the opening, we'll tell people, this is the last Ifcc, and we have to stop with it, okay. And then we come to the event, for example, in Split last year at the seaside, and we came there like 2 or 3 days before to set everything up, and like 5 minutes after we arrived to the town, we were already in the mood for a love and hanging out, and we're like,
of course, because it's
like,
so amazing, this atmosphere.
like we're doing it again. We'll tell everyone that we're doing it again. But didn't we say that we're gonna quit next year? And but this situation with this online event that happened this year, I was back in this mood, especially during the winter when I feel like I'm totally alone, and I'm just like I get desperate at some point, because I feel like nothing is working, like none of our activities is taking any effect, we can't get enough people on board for the event, because it's really hard, and then also I realized this is maybe such a psychological thing. So there's like a bunch of artists that I call every year because, and they know why I love them. I think we're sort of friends. I mean, my philosophy is that I can't be friends with anyone who I meet once a year. But we are friends as much as we can be.
Yeah.
And these are like few guys that I need. Their names are like very important to me, for the event, to have them, on the list. And they are actually giving more than they can, because they're like super popular artists, and they have like hundreds of messages in their inbox every week probably. And I realized at some point, when they ignore me because of their work, and they don't have time, I kind of get angry, and I'm like, and I realized that's not okay, that's not good, that's not good for my health, because I get angry because I'm under stress, under pressure. And I don't want to be angry at those guys, because they're like really amazing people who helped us countless times, so. And I realized it's becoming more and more pressure for me to just keep it alive and meet other people's expectations, blah blah, and totally neglecting my personal life, my personal career, and this is why I think that as the event, it won't be happening anytime soon, but we'll continue with our online activities, because we do run some courses, we do have this online community as well, we do produce some digital content that we give to artists and sell as well. And I think that when it comes to IFCC, the focus will be really online, but maybe not in the form of the event,
Right. Yeah.
We'll see what the future brings. So.
Love that. I'm sure there's like different like formats and like types of things, and it doesn't have
Definitely.
to like fall in like conference box. Like
yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, I just realized that other guys who are doing like these few other events, which are also like very popular, are just at this point they're doing it better.
Okay.
I just can't compete with them in the sense of production quality. I don't have enough resources for that, and so for me, it's like, what's the purpose of doing something if it's not the best, or among the best? So this is why I just decided maybe it's time to step aside. And
my God, Marko, like this is too barely honest. I'm getting goosebumps.
This is how things function in reality. I mean, we have to be realistic about things. I mean, it's not a tragic thing, So
it's part of the evolution, I guess, because
right.
IFCC is evolving online and evolving from conference to something else. Yeah.
I think that actually I think it's a good thing because we all, even in private life, you need some time on your own. You need some time to think about things, what will happen, and I think if we see this as a bad thing, then it's also good, because after every bad thing that happens, the only good thing can come. So because
like
you so. I'm not feeling, tragic about it or anything like that. So
no, not at all. I mean, to be honest, looking at all the things, looking at all the things behind your belt and all the projects that you still manage, I mean, that's like no time to worry. Actually, like, what's going to be your personal focus now, and or what is it already?
So. Regarding the IFCC crowd audience or our followers, we'll definitely be producing a lot of digital content, like tools for them to do their work more efficiently. And there might be some educational content as well, even live content, I really, what I liked about the last online event was this this moment when you have someone who can be a tutor, a teacher, but at the same time a guy who gives advices and answers questions to the crowd, and talking to other guy who is also a teacher, and it's totally crazy, especially Discord is a very useful platform for that. And I like that, and I think we will have, every now and then a guest, for some sort of mini event, where he will be, giving his or her knowledge. But what I said, like, this massive thing, we had like, last time we had like 80 speakers or 85, which is totally it's like total nonsense, like, and I just can't control myself, it's like I'm totally crazy about that, and when it comes to that, and other organizers of other events did warn me like what's wrong with you, you know, can't you just like stop, you know, at like 20, 30 or 40, you know, and it's like, it's too much work, you know. Just think about like writing email to 80 people, you know, and then you don't course. It's not one email, it's like
10 times,
so,
yes.
and then you have also like all the guests, you know, who have questions. So yeah, definitely the focus will be on creating digital content, downloadable content, and privately, I think I want to finish. I have like few projects on my own. One of them is a short film.
Okay.
I want to do that, and I want to continue working on my jewelry. So I'm negotiating about the next campaign with two nice girls, you know, for shooting, and I'm preparing new models. So this
the jewelry, like I'll put a link right here in the show notes to the jewelry website. I mean, this is amazing. I love the style. It's like really urban, bold. Really like I bet it has its audience, and also models
like
look
really
amazing.
I have fans, you know, so if I compare it to my you know, painting that I used to do, I had like only few fans who were buying from me, you know. Everyone else was like disgusted by it, because it was always some kind of horror, you know, behind. But for the jewelry, I mean, so the jewelry is a good example. You know, my art, I did it, you know, because I love doing it, you know. Jewelry, I started doing just because of the, you know, to make money. There was no love involved at the beginning, you know, but I started loving it when I, you know, made first models, and when I introduced my creativity to the process, you know. So I'll be just short, you know. The moment when I decided I want to do jewelry, I was in my friend's store. It was like a concept store selling all the designers' clothes, you know, from by creators from Croatia. And so I came in with my girlfriend inside, you know, who's my wife now, and I saw like this bracelet, you know, and I said, "Oh, look at this bracelet, you know, the guy who's making it, my friend. Oh yeah, I know him. I really like it. I want it, you know." And I was like, "What do you mean you want it? Do you want to ask the price?" No, I like it, you know. And I was like, wait, so she doesn't even ask for the price, she just want it. Oh, no. I want to make jewelry, you know, if it goes like this, you know. And it really does, you know. So my first models that I made were just like was sold right away, and I was like really focused to get the best possible materials for it, you know, the stainless steel. I thought of everything, you know, the branding and everything, because I was working in advertising back then, so I knew the importance of, you know, branding and everything. And so it was like great success. But the only problem for this project was that it was the least important for me, and I was always pushing it aside, you know, doing
like
stuff
personal, on the level of personal priorities in life. Okay.
It was the last, you know, and but it was the most profitable. So I think that I'm 41 now, you know, and I think that, you know, the time has come for me to focus, you know, to, you know, have some security in life for me and my kid and my family. So I'll definitely be focusing on things that are like more, you know, profitable, you know. I mean, to be totally honest.
Wow. But you know, like, to be totally honest, I love the jewelry, and it's not for the record. It's just like and I can totally understand why people love that. It's not just it's just not like the usual thing that you see everywhere. So
buy two, you'll get one free.
Well, amazing. You
you can't even buy it at the moment because the online store is not yet functional. But I'll let you know.
Okay. Yes. Cool. Well, I'll keep poking you to make sure that I know.
Okay.
I hope you ship internationally, right?
Yeah, that's the idea behind. I mean, Croatian market is small. If we talk about if we think about Ifcc, this was also a part of the reason why it was so hard, because we always had like just a few people from Croatia coming to the event. So because it's a small country, it's not like Germany or Russia. So we could never sell enough tickets here, So
Sure.
this is also something I didn't mention, but this was also part of the reason why it was so hard, so far.
Yeah, no, of course, I get that. Well, Marko, like it's been really amazing. It's just I'm really humbled by the fact that you shared everything about IFCC that I couldn't even expect. That was like breaking news. So we have a little tradition on the show. I've got like 10 questions. They're really quick, and you're allowed to answer with a few words. And I'm ready when you are. It's just like a questionnaire.
Yeah, shoot. I can skip question, right?
You can say
my right
like,
not to answer.
Okay, yes, you can. They're not very personal. So, but yeah, okay, let's see what you think. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So what's your number one tip for combating distractions when working from home?
I don't have a good advice on that because I'm the worst at it. So
okay, you're the worst. Fine. What's your favorite holiday or tradition?
I'm not a traditional guy, so I don't have a favorite holiday.
Well, IFCC has been a good tradition. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's I wouldn't call it. I mean, after 6 or 7 years, I wouldn't call it a tradition. Any holiday that gathers people, it's fine by me. From any culture, so.
Cool, amazing. So, what's your favorite way to get in some exercise?
Another thing that I'm really struggling with is exercise.
Okay.
And, I mean, I can tell you what type of exercise I like.
Okay.
I like jogging. I like boxing. I like some martial arts type of training, like Krav Maga and that kind of stuff. But I really have hard time finding any free time to do it. So I mean, you can what I know is that you can do a lot with your body. Like push-ups, squats, and you can do this at home, so if you're better than me in organizing your time, then do that.
I bet in 2020 everybody's on the same page with that. Definitely. So what's your most used emoji? I
don't think I use emojis. Actually, I do. It's like no, probably like smile or some provocative thing icon. I don't know.
Emoji. But, all right. Got it. What's your source of inspiration?
I'm trying to get rid of inspiration, actually, because I started when I started painting back then, when I was younger. I drew ideas from my head and shapes and everything. So, and I was even, focusing not to learn from things that surround me. And I want to go back to this stage because with all this IFCC and so many top artists that I met, I just can't get rid of their influence, from my head, So yeah, that's my answer.
Amazing. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I think that Nike gave me the best piece of advice: just do it. So
if somebody from them was listening to this podcast, they would be really proud.
Yeah, I mean, it just says almost everything. Just have to finish what you started.
Cool. What's your how do you celebrate little victories, like personal success?
Like yeah. No, I don't celebrate victories at all because I always think about problems, so I always think about the next problem. When I reach the success in something, I always think about what complication will it have, so
I love talking to you, Marko. Like,
Thank you.
absolutely. So, if you could see one movie again for the first time, what movie would that be? Don't say no movies.
Well, there are definitely too many movies that I like, and my answers are too long, right?
Oh, you're good.
So I like comedies as well. So, and I think one of my favorite comedies is the French film. I think it's called Untouchables or Intouchables.
Yes,
Yeah.
the old guy and the black servant.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think that's probably one of my favorite comedies. But there are like other genres that I like, and I don't know. I mean, I grew up when Quentin Tarantino was becoming a big star, so I know that like his films were really shocking for us. When it comes to scenario and how it is, how the film was made, and all these surprises. So I remember his films, were like really, really something that I would probably want to see for the first time again. So,
wow, cool.
Yeah, but there are also like some art films that I like, but it's not, something that people will know about or even want to see. So, yeah, I won't mention it now. Okay,
fine.
Next one.
Well, I've got final question. What's your backup career?
My backup career. You mean I can say like the jewelry thing?
Yeah, well, that's already your career. Like, if you were not, if you have never become an artist, or like, I don't know how you define yourself. What would you do?
Well, I would definitely dive more into either programming or economy. So because I think that this is the knowledge that I'm lacking a bit. And I even think that even in the elementary schools there should be some sort of some part of the program that talks about the economy and I mean I think that kids already have programming in schools. I'm not sure, but especially economy.
Not all schools.
Yeah, probably. But the economy, knowledge about like numbers, investments, and even just paying bills on time and that kind of stuff, all things related to money, the things that can teach you how to live your life, and take care of all the financial problems. So maybe something in that direction. So I'm not sure exactly what, so I don't know, maybe I would like to be a skipper or something with more free time, not sure.
I like that. Something with more free time, definitely.
Definitely.
Like, would definitely fit that description. Well, that's we're done. Marko,
Okay.
Thanks so much. And sorry if I took too much of your time. That was amazing. I had so much fun.
Thanks for having me. I'm really happy that we did it. I really like you, and I like the way you're running this.
This is really mutual.
Yeah. So, let's stay in touch and see what happens
definitely.
next. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording now. All right.
Cool.
Thanks everyone for listening. All righty, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode to the very end. Really appreciate you being here, and don't hesitate sharing this episode with any of your artist friends who you think could be inspired by what we discussed with Marko. And we hope to see you back again here on the show in about a week, because Art Heroes podcast is a weekly show. So subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn the notifications on if you don't want to miss the next episode. And well, I'll be here in a week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Art Heroes Podcast. Check out www.artheroes.co for show notes, more interviews, and free tools made for you by our team of mentors. Tune in next week for more inspiration, and keep up the great work, hero.